thunderstorms, drowning in the Millie. Ah, Millie. Millie. Come on. Are you sitting outside, like? All right. Hey, hopefully that was picked up on the live stream. Hopefully that where you're going was picked up on the live stream. She's going for a wee. Whoa, 3 people. Questions. Who's got the question? Anyone got a question? There's a horrible fly in here. Ugh. Awful. Julie, hello. How are you today? Oh, God, I'm getting attacked by literally the biggest fly you've ever seen in your life. Oh. Great. Whereabouts are you from, Julie? Whereabouts are you from? Yunhe. I published 2 composition notebooks on KDP and it takes over a week. It's still under review. Do you have any ideas? Over a week. Where are you publishing them from? What I've noticed is if you publish in the US or publish in the UK, they say, you know, can take up to 72 hours, but it's usually around 2 to 3 days. Anywhere else can sometimes take a bit longer. What I would do is if it takes anything longer than 2 weeks, then there might be a problem. And then you can just send them a message and just ask them what's going on. See, what they do when they review the books is there's some manual effort there. So if they're busy or whatever, you know what I mean, they have to get around to them, and there's still people, you know, publishing hundreds of books a day and stuff. What is the tool to use with BookBolt, the extension? This is for Julie. So the two that I use, okay, are Amazon Suggestion Expander. No. AMZ Suggestion Expander. So if you go to the Chrome store, AMZ Suggestion Expander, it doesn't cost anything, but if you type in a certain keyword, it then fills out other things that people are actually putting in. The other thing that I use is Amazon Quick View, and that gives you things like the bestsellers rank of each book when you are looking at for a keyword. So it means that you don't need to click on it and then scroll down, so you get a quick view of what's going on. Okay. So Hugh here, I did it in South Korea, but my other colouring books got accepted within 48 hours. It could be that, you know, they are looking at it because, you know, they want to have a bit more of a review of what it potentially is. Could be going up to team leaders and things like that. Have you got any you know, you haven't put something like relaxation, colouring book for relaxation or something like that, have you? If you put a statement in like a, because that's what people do, you know, this book is for stress relief and things like that. You know, sometimes they're not so happy about that. I'm on the orange IPA today. Five people now. 5 people. I'm getting attacked by this fly. What is going on? Honestly, it's like the most awful fly you've ever seen in your life. It's massive. It's like a bee. It's okay, Julie. Any other questions you might have, throw them my way. I hope you've joined my Facebook group. You know, okay, I'll try sending them a message. Thank you very much for your advice. Manners. I love manners. Love it. Brilliant. Fantastic. Yeah, it's a funny thing because I've had books where I've literally published them, went to bed, woke up the next day, and they're live, and you think, what? Wow, what is that? But then I've had other books which have been almost like as if there's been some sort of glitch in the system, or we don't know the ins and outs of what they see at their end, but there's obviously been some sort of like random glitch where I published say 6 books, four or five of them have gone live, and then just 2 of them are in limbo, or one of them's in limbo for a while. And it's taken for me to then send them a message for them to give them the boot up the bottom, for them to then release it. Yeah. So as you can see, I haven't actually done a video for today. I usually do a video on a Sunday, but I didn't do it today. So this is why I'm doing this live video, and hopefully if there's anybody knocking about, I could be useful to people. So there we go. I've been to the beach today with my lovely missus and my 2 chihuahuas. What have you been doing today? People, what have you been doing? Let me know. This bloody fly, honestly. What have you been doing today, guys? I can tell you about what I've been doing in terms of publishing this week. So I have, this week I have published 3 colouring books, and I've got another 3 colouring books on the way from a freelancer who was very good. And I've also got a guy doing all the A+ content now, which is brilliant because A+ content does my nutting. So to just be handed it, there's your A+ content, you think, brilliant, thank you very much. Oh, it's fantastic as well, thank you. So that's another example of where you can go and find a freelancer to do these sorts of things for you. And of course, when you instruct somebody to create you a book, it's almost like, yes, it's going to cost to do it, but when they kind of deliver it to you and you think, wow, that's fantastic and it's exactly what I wanted, brilliant, how much time you've saved doing it yourself, but when you're busy doing other things, sometimes it's the easiest way to do it, and that's what I've been doing recently anyway. And it's been going pretty well. I am also talking to a ghostwriter to write me an ebook that I think is going to kill. And when I mean kill, I mean it's going to sell well, not kill people, like, kill them. It means it's going to sell well because I've seen the gap in the market, and that's what I'm going to do. So I don't have much time these days, so I think I'm going to go down the route of getting a ghostwriter to write that particular ebook. Now, I could use AI, or I could use my own noggin, but I've got some other things on as well at the moment. So what are you guys doing? What are you guys in the process of publishing? Tell me what you're doing. You don't need to tell me the niche. Don't tell me the niche. If you tell me the niche, I'll steal it. joking. I'm only joking. I won't do that. But just tell me what he's doing. What types of books he's doing. It's a nice orange IPA. That. Enjoying that. Any more for any more? Any more for any more? Yes, you wouldn't expect me to have 2 chihuahuas, would you? But I do. Big bloke with a bald head and a massive beard walking about with 2 chihuahuas on the lead. And everyone's like, what is going on there? Who knows? Who knows? Oh. VS snapshots. I'm doing moderate content books now. That's good. That's good. I mean, I think if you are doing medium content books, again, it's just the same with the low content books. It's like the competition situation, isn't it? It's like if it's a high content book, if it's a medium content book, or if it's a low content book, there is certain areas, certain niches that have low competition and certain areas that have high competition. So I have seen other YouTube channels who have said, you know, they've got the clickbait thumbnail. Don't do low content books. Do this instead. You know, I'm not saying that my thumbnails are not clickbaity, because of course some of them are, but what I'm saying is, medium content is great for if you're in a niche where there's low competition. But if you are creating a medium content book that everyone's done, you know, then it's not going to be as potentially as popular as it could be. But if you made a low content book, you know, if as long as it was in a keyword and a niche that was not very competitive, you might have success there. Perfect example was, you know, I wrote fantasy books a few years ago, and you know, it's a fantasy book, it's a fantasy novel. You know, everyone's doing fantasy novels, and it was a great kind of experience in you release it and you think, this is going to be so class. Everyone is going to love this. It's going to be brilliant. And then you don't see the sales that you expect, and you think, but the book's brilliant. But then when you think about it, you think it's because of the niche. You know, it's so saturated. And that's the reason why, you know, there's so many competitors out there, you're never going to get a look in. So I think the KDP game is primarily about finding a gap in the market, or a niche that doesn't have very many competitors, so that you can jump in there and get some of that sweet action. That's my new thing that I'm going to be doing. Some of that sweet action. Okay. I did a word search and it took a long time. The low content is a lot faster. Creative Fabrica has ready-made books for KDP. What do you think of those? Right. If you're going to buy a book that's been ready-made, right, surely other people have bought that book. Yeah. And there's a massive chance then that if you publish that book, it's going to get flagged for duplicate content, which will mean that you can do either two things. You can alter it, you know, put some nice additional creative assets, mix it with another book to make an activity book, for instance. But I would never use it as is. Anything bought from those sorts of things. So, like, for instance, I've seen on Fiverr a lot, you know, people saying 10,000 KDP book interiors for 50 pence. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't buy those because, oh, you could buy them just for ideas. You know, it might be worth a punt for ideas, but you know, they have used those previously, haven't they? So, because why would they have made them in the first place? So they've used them. And Millie, what's wrong? What's wrong? Sorry, I've got a chihuahua who's getting angry. What's wrong? Oh, God. Anyway, before I get attacked by the chihuahua, going back to what I'm saying. So, yes, you know, low content is a lot faster, but I still think these days, your low content books, you know, it might be just one page, the same page loads of times, or it could be 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages, loads of times throughout the book. They do need to be good quality. So they do need to look good to sell. You know, doing something, you know, half-assed, or if you look at it yourself and you think, well, that isn't great, but it's really, really quick, people aren't going to buy it. Low content, medium content, high content, it's the same thing. It needs to be high quality. You've got to think, put yourself in the position of the people who are. What are you doing? She's really raged. You need to put yourself in the position of the people who are buying these books, okay? Because there's so many competitors out there. You just need to, the value needs to be in what you're offering people, okay? So it needs to kind of look good, sort of thing. So did that answer the question? I was answering that question for about 5 minutes. Did a word search and took a long time? Yeah, word searches do take a long time. They do take a long time, but if you have a system for word searches, so if you're finding the actual words, find the topics via ChatGPT and then find the words via ChatGPT, then you just need to paste them into the word search generator. Yeah. Okay. So I have no issue taking the time to make a high quality book. How do I get my books seen? I haven't made any sales. Well, there's a few things that you can do to get your books seen, right? Well, I'll say there's a few things. There's basically two. Yeah. You can, number one, well, first thing you need to do is make sure that you've got a good niche and that you've got keywords that have got low competition. Yeah. So that's the first thing that you need to do. Once you've got that and you're happy with that, to get your book seen, you need to, number one, run ads. Yeah. Which may lose you money to begin with. Yeah. So you need to have, first of all, you need to have confidence in the book. Yeah. One of the things that I think a lot of people do in this game is they'll think to themselves, right, I'm going to run ads, but the book might be crap. Yeah. So the you know, you've got to sort of maybe speak to your partner and say, is this book good? Will people buy this book? Does it look good? You know, then you run ads on it, and chances are, you know, you're going to be spending quite a lot to get those sales. Yeah. But why are we doing that? We're doing that to show Amazon that this book is selling. Okay, very good. And that we're eventually, over the course of time, lowering the bestseller rank. Why are we doing that? So that it will get shown when people are typing in those keywords. So it's adding power to your keywords. I will always, if I've got confidence in a book, run those ads until I get, you know, maybe a dozen reviews. Okay. And there was a video that I had there about making sure that you're asking people for reviews, you know, so they can leave a review and stuff like that. Because once you get those verified reviews on your book, it adds power to your keywords. Okay. So the first way is running ads. Okay. If you've got good keywords and stuff like that, yeah, then there's going to be a certain amount of organic chance of being found. Okay. But what I've found recently is that, you know, sometimes you need those ads to give it a push. Okay. The second thing is using outreach, so showing people, and what I mean by that is having a nice social media, if you've got a brand or something like that, or using an email list and popping it onto an email for people. Okay, how much should I spend per day on advertising? Right, so if it's a colouring book and things like that, the cost per click for colouring books is very high, unfortunately. But what you can do, and what I've just recently mentioned in the group, because someone asking a very similar question, is what you need to do is you need to spend a bit of time when you're doing your ads, run manual ads, and look for words. When you bring up your Amazon ads, you click manual, you type in a manual word. So say coloring book for kids you've written down, right? And then it will populate a lot of other words. Add all those, yeah, and then have a look at the suggested bid that it's suggesting, right? If it's saying suggesting $2 to $3, delete that. Delete, yeah. You're going to look for those words that are in the region of around 15 cents to 35 cents. And that's the kind of region. And the suggested bid will be somewhere in between. Then what I do is I look for the minimum bid and give it kind of like 1 or 2 cents more in terms of my bid. And what that will mean is it will mean that you've got a chance, for people to see your book for that particular keyword. And make sure that your bids are dynamic bids down, so that you don't spend more than that. So if we're saying 15 cents is the lowest of the range, it won't cost you more than 15, 16 cents per click. Yeah. In terms of how much you want to spend per day, start with $1 on that method. Yeah. If something clicks where you start to get a decent amount of sales, then you can increase that. Okay. But what I would always do is, for any book, run 100 clicks first and see how many sales you get. You want 5 to 8 sales for 100 clicks. If you're getting any lower than that, you can either think, right, okay, it's a no-go, toss it off, or you can try to increase the bid. It depends how much confidence you've got in your book. Do you use Pinterest to market your products? Yes, I do. And have you made a video on how to use Pinterest for beginners? No, I haven't. Is that something people would be interested in? To cut a long story short on the Pinterest thing is, you need to build up a following on any social channel. So if you've got a big following on a social channel, then you've got a good chance of people seeing it. Now, Pinterest is good because people can search for a particular keyword and your thing can come up. But to some extent, the same on any, really. Twitter or Facebook or whatever. And I've got a few brands running on socials, as well as multiple email lists as well, which I am running, which are mostly automated. And sometimes, the emails are pretty, robotic, should we say. But it does get the message out, and you do get some people who are interested in it, because, if you make a book that people are interested in, and it fulfills a need, usually, you're going to get some sales from that, aren't you? No idea how to use Pinterest. It's kind of like it's like a social media mixed with like a search engine, I suppose. But at the very simplest is you're creating a pin, putting your book on there, doing a bit of a description, use the keywords that are suggested on their search box as the title, There's a tip for you. And then just paste your link into your Amazon book page. Easy as that. Yes, they'd love that video. Oh, well, there we go. Then it looks like I'm doing a social media video then, doesn't it? Any more for any more? Whoa, it's getting close to 30 minutes here. How's the tea doing? Mamma mia. She's outside. I'm so sorry. Casey is so sorry. Nice day in the UK today, which is a strange situation. I think I've burnt my face. Should put some sunscreen on, shouldn't I? It's one of the things that British people don't need no sunscreen on. Be fine, be fine. 1 hour later, I've burnt everywhere. Any more questions? I think it's been quite useful, this. VS Snapshots, I love your videos. I need marketing help. Well, I appreciate that massively, mate. Massively. Casey, I love your videos. Thank you for creating them. Thank you very much for saying that. That's very nice. In terms of the marketing help, I do have a marketing video there somewhere. How to market your books somewhere. Tell you the one thing though, doing a post on social media or doing, creating an email list or these sorts of things is one thing, but you've got to be consistent at it. You've got to have the mentality of showing up every day and putting in an hour or maybe a bit more, you know what I mean, depending on what you want to do. I always say to people, and people, if I'm, if I've got if I'm doing if I'm coaching somebody, you've got to put in time every day to do it. And if you don't, it's like, it's the thing with social media, it's the same with anything, is like, it's like this channel. I said to myself at the beginning of this year, I think I might try a YouTube. I think I might try a YouTube channel. Yeah. And I said to myself, well, I'll do a few videos. I took a course on how to do YouTube and all this kind of thing because I didn't have a clue. And the guy who I took the course said, you need to do a load of videos, start getting a bit of a following, 2 or 3 a week, and then you can wind it down to maybe 1 a week and stuff like that, but keep it kind of going. But you've got to be consistent. So I did that, and I'm not saying I'm the biggest channel in the world. There's about 3,500 or whatever it is, but his advice worked, and it's the same with KDP. It's the same with socials. You've got to keep doing it. You can't do a post on Instagram and think, right, the post on Instagram is going to then make me loads of sales if you haven't had anything prior to that. Do you see what I'm saying? If you haven't got any followers, you need to keep doing it. Okay. So go on. Can you use book in your 7 back-end keywords, as in dog colouring book? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And I would recommend that. So the way that I do it is in your back-end keywords, there's a few things that you can do. You can either find a great keyword that has low competition, high searches, and use that keyword in the box. Now you could have dog colouring book, and then you could use dog colouring book for kids, then you could use puppy colouring book, then you could have cute puppy colouring book, and so on and so forth. So you've used book loads of times in each keyword slot. Now that's absolutely fine. One of the other ways of doing it is think, right, I've used the word book once. Yeah, I might have used it in the title, so I won't use that again. Yeah. So it depends how you want to do it. Now I've seen success on both, using both of those methods. Via snapshots. Should I use multiple keywords in each box? No, there's another one. So for instance, I would personally, I would always use more than one word in each of those keyword boxes. Yeah, I always use keyword phrases because I look for the low competition keyword phrases that have got high searches. Okay, do you understand that? But I do know of other authors who have great success of just using single words, because apparently single words have more power. Yeah, it's almost like you get, say, 100% power with each keyword slot, but if you've got 4 keywords in that slot, each of those keywords gets 25% instead of 100%. Yeah. Oh, see, now you're helping each other now. Brilliant. See, so Casey's saying to snapshots, you also use dog lovers as well. You know what I mean? But this is what you want to do. If you're doing keyword research, the first thing to do before you go to Publisher Rocket or before you go on Amazon is to sit there and do a brainstorm of, you know, all the sorts of keywords that people would potentially look for. Think of the audience, not the book. So, you know, don't think what is my book about? Think, who is the person who would want my book? If you think of it that way, sometimes it's better. And one of the great things that I do is I speak to my missus and say, I'm thinking about making this book. What sort of thing do you think that they would type in to find this book? And some of the things that come out of her is fantastic. So have you ever heard that situation where, you know, you can't see you know, your own mistakes, sort of thing? You know, if you were writing like a piece of fiction, you can't see your own punctuation mistakes. You know what I mean? If you get somebody else to even suggest a niche to you, they come up with things and you just think, why didn't I think of that? You know what I mean? So sometimes 2 heads are better than 1. You know what I mean? And if you've got kids, or speak to your mum or your dad or whatever, and, you know, they can give you some things as well. Okay, so is there any more questions, guys? Because I think I'm going to wrap this up now, because I'm going to go and have my tea soon. Any more questions? It's not a punishable offence, no. No bother, mate. No bother. Thank you for joining in this. How to write a title and subtitle for a low content book. Okay. Right. Your title needs to be a single keyword phrase with nothing else. Just the keyword that you found, which is got low competition and high searches. That's your title. Yeah. Your subtitle needs to be something natural. Yeah. So you can't stuff it with keywords. You can't have, you know, 4 keywords just listed. Yeah. That's going to potentially get you flagged off KDP, and potentially, you know, them start to get a little bit angry with you and things like that. The way I do my keywords for my subtitle now is I will have kind of a natural, kind of positive adjective, you know, a fantastic something book. And that something book, you know, will be the keyword, yeah. But what I like to do is I like to have a what it is subtitle. So, what is your book? What is it? What it is subtitle. But it has to, you know, it's a wasted opportunity if you don't incorporate a keyword into your subtitle. Okay. Okay then, guys, I think that is it. I hope people found that useful and things like that. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, go and have a look on some of my other videos and go and join. because there's lots of different questions in there as well. Lots of different questions, lots of different conversations, should I say. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. So have a great day wherever you are, and things like that. Okay then, thank you very much, guys. You've been waiting for this, haven't you? Bye.